Hey guys, it's Jen from beautyriotx, and as promised, I am doing a video second impressions, because I did use this once, of the Hindash Beautopsy. It's supposed to be like beauty and then autopsy, Beautopsy, I don't know. I don't really understand how to say it, but it's this palette people are like enamored of. It retails for about $70, and you have to pay like the shipping from somewhere in the Middle East. So it did equal out to about $85, but this came in like 4 days. It's this whole like ombre situation. It's all matte, which automatically makes me want to try it even more, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is a 6-pan, 12-shade pressed pigment gradient face and shadow palette with a 24 color payoff. So you can get 24 shades out of these like 6 pans. Create the ultimate look by swirling your brush along the gradient, customize your shade. You can use this along the eyes, cheeks, brows, highlights, and contours of your face. I say second impressions because I did use a few of these shades a few days ago just to kind of do a very simple like no makeup kind of look, and it was nice, but because the shades were the most subtle and light ones, it didn't give me the full idea of this palette itself, and I only used it on my eyes. So I guess I'm gonna use this for as much of my face as I can and kind of just go from there. So when I first used it, I used my KVD Shake Primer, and so I primed this side with that, but then I'm gonna go in on this side and use a more like pigment popping primer, and this is the Juvia's Place Eye Prep I Prime Eye Primer in the shade 1. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can kind of see the shades a little bit more and the names. And I'm just gonna tell you guys like names as I go. I'm not gonna hold it up every single time. I may hold it up a few times, but I'm basically just giving the gist of it. I may forget those promises, who knows? We're gonna just find out and see. All right, so I'm gonna go in with, I'm not sure which side I'm going in with. I'm gonna go in with the lighter side first. Because I used it the first time for like a very, very neutral, subtle eye look, I think I'm gonna try to build it up this time and make it a little bit fancier. As I get older, I appreciate more of the subtle and sheer, and I'm able to build up with them. It is really great to have, pigments that pack a punch, but there's also a lot to be said for building something up and taking your time and making it as perfect as you can. The only thing that bothers me about this Juvia's Place primer is that like it separates and you have to like mush it back together. Oh, I have some new makeup brushes coming today. I'm really excited. And I went and ordered the fucking Made by Mitchell palette that he put out a little while ago, because I got his blushes, which are pretty incredible, but they're very, very loud and bright and everything, so they're not things that I jump right in and use as blush right off the bat, but I'm gonna start playing with them a bit more. All right, I'm gonna just do the same thing on this side. So it did pop a little bit more on this side, not crazy. And then I think I'm gonna kind of pop in and use this one, try to make like a bit of a brighter eye. Now this is definitely like a blush shade that I would dip into, that orange. I mean, is there anything more disappointing than using, a new palette, being super excited about it, and like you go in for like bright shades and they're just pure trash, like they're blending into the other shade underneath it, or they're blending away. There's really nothing more disappointing than that. That's not what I'm experiencing here, but it's one of those things that I'm concerned about. Now I'm switching up brushes, start kind of packing the color on a bit more. Now I definitely feel like right off the bat, it's a little more seamless on this side. Like I feel like I have to do a little more blending out on this side, and I think it's because the base is more absorbent, I guess you'd say, than this base. Okay, we're gonna keep up with that Love Kills side, and I'm gonna build it up some more. All right, I'm gonna go in with this black shade down here, and I'm gonna start working on the outer corner. This definitely isn't the blackest shade I've ever seen. For what I'm going for, I don't need it to be. The only person I've seen talk about this palette, not use it because she didn't have it, she just thought maybe she wanted to try it, was Samantha Ravndal. P.S. Is anybody else dying to see Samantha Ravndal's baby? It can't just be me. All right, I'm gonna go into the reddish part of this now. I'm gonna start building my crease up. And the truth that we're gonna have that horrible build-up issue that I run into sometimes with. It kind of built up okay. I've had better, but I've also had worse. So. I mean, I will say though, it's working with each primer pretty nice at this point. Again, the Patrick Ta was like this too. It's very effortless. I mean, I do have to build some stuff up, but it's not to the point where I'm really working at, like I'm being kind of half-assed about it, honestly. Like it's not one of those palettes that I feel like I have to work to make it work. It's just kind of working. I feel like that in itself is one of the best features or qualities of a palette. If you have to sit there and work at it for an obscene amount of time, who wants to fucking do that? And I think I'm gonna go in finished with the light pink that we started with. It did leave a little bit of an issue there, which was probably me being just fast with it. Let me do some more on my face and we'll come back and we'll use this for contour and blush. So, BRB. All right, I look ghastly pale right now. So let's warm this up a little bit. I'm gonna dip between this one. No, I'm gonna do this one for the contour, and it's gonna be mostly like this side because it goes from like a taupey brown to complete like concrete gray. So I'm gonna stay on like the browner side, which is like Feel. That's what it's called, Feel. I'm gonna use my Sephora Hakodu brush. It went a long way. Nice. So that was really nice and subtle. It was really blendable. Left that nice kind of shadow right there. All right, let's go in and try some bronzer. I mean, the only thing that just kind of is like, for me is the pan sizes when you want to do like face stuff. So I'm gonna go to the top shade right here, and I'm gonna use this like a bronzer. Now, obviously, this is not shades that are going to work for everyone in every capacity. For myself, this seems to be okay. It's a little subtle, but again, I'd rather have subtle than like a huge pop of color that I can't edit. All right, I'm gonna dip between this one and this one for the blush. So it's Boy and Love. It's pretty. Throw on highlighter real quick, and I'm gonna use my Persona Laguna highlighter. And I think that's it for the most part. I mean, right off the bat, like I said earlier, I really like the simplicity and the ease of using this. Like, obviously you can use these shades, pans for anything that you want, but that was probably the bulk of what I would use it for. Would I use this normally as a face palette? Probably not, unless like I was traveling but I mean, who am I kidding? I would probably bang about 5 palettes, maybe including this one if I was traveling. I don't know an instance where I would like have to use this for my face, or say even want to, but even want to. I mean, I have other products that I like more for my face stuff, but I understand where he was going with this. And I think the formula is really nice. I think the payoff was great on both sides. Oddly enough, I liked it more working with the KVD just because it seemed to blend a little easier. Like again, I didn't have to work too hard for any of it, honestly, but this side, I feel like I had to blend a bit more. Like a part of the top that I still see I could blend more. I don't think it's necessarily this palette's fault, but it's one of the things that I noticed. Oh yeah, that was it for my Hindash. I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try anymore. I think this is a really nice palette. I think it's versatile. I think it's really easy to use, and I'm glad that I bought it. So that was it. Let me know if you've tried this Hindash palette for yourself. Do you think it was worth it? Do you think it's meh? Like, let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned. I have more coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.